Hello everyone, I am Dr. Sandhya Sharma. Dear students, in subject Basics of Mass Communication, today we will discuss about the meaning definitions of communication. So let's start with the basic meaning of the word communication. So communication is basically a two-way process in which one is sender, another is receiver. Sender sends a message and receiver receives it. So in that way, communication is a process in which someone share their ideas, views in form of symbol, written form, verbal form, different types to someone. So what is written here? Communication is the act of giving, receiving or exchanging information with someone to share the ideas and opinions so that message is completely understood by both the parties. Both the parties are meaning sender and receiver. Introduction to communication. The term communication is derived from the Latin word communis, which means common. If a sender select a person who is the receiver and he try to communicate, he try to send a message to that particular receiver, he keep in mind few things like what the message should be, what would be the language, what would be we can say the medium, how could we communicate. So he identify the person and accordingly he create the particular message. In general, communication refers to the reciprocal exchange of ideas, information, facts, opinions, beliefs, feelings and attitudes through verbal, non-verbal, symbols between two people or within a group of people. Different types of communication are there. If we are communicating within two people, then it is interpersonal communication. There are different types of communication like intrapersonal communication, interpersonal communication, mass communication and group communication. So exchange of information, ideas, opinions between people to the large group of people within a group. So we sender need to frame that particular message to communicate to the receiver accordingly. Now the meaning of communication. Communication as a process through which individually mutually exchange. So once sender sends a message, receiver received it. Then receiver sends a message and sender received it. If receiver sends a message to sender, then it becomes a feedback. So mutually exchange their ideas, values, thoughts, feelings and actions with one or more people. And the transfer of information from the sender to the receiver so that it is understood in the right context. It is very much important in communication that the context must be understood by the person for whom this message is to be prepared or prepared by that sender. The context remains the same. If the receiver is unable to decode that message and fail to understand that context, it means your communication fails there. Then the process of initiating, transmitting and receiving information is communication. This is a process. Communication is not an easy way, and we can say that we cannot survive without communication. We are totally dependent to the people to communicate our feelings, ideas, emotions to someone, the people around us. The means of making the transfer of information productive and goal oriented. Yes, the process, communication is the process of sharing information, ideas and attitudes between individuals. So this is the meaning of communication. Few definitions are also here. Communication is a process by which information is exchanged between individuals through a common system of symbols and signs of behavior. This definition is given by Webster Dictionary, which means that in a communication we are already studied about that we are exchanging our thoughts and feelings with the selected person. Whom do we select for that particular communication? So communication is the interchange of thoughts, opinions or information by speech, writing and signs. It can be having different way. It is given by Robert Anderson. So there are different elements of communication. There is sender, message, channel, receiver, feedback and context. So these elements create a process which is very much important to fulfill the need of that communication. So sender is a person who sends the message. Message is very important, which is framed to communicate to someone, and someone is a receiver. Channel, through which channel we are going to send that framed message to the receiver, and receiver is a person who is receiving that particular message. And if receiver is giving feedback, then only the communication process is completed. And the context, we have already discussed that context is very much important in that communication process.